Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you were there? Or maybe you've struggled to find the right word during a conversation, only to have it pop into your head hours later. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. As we age, it's natural for our brains to slow down a little, but sometimes these moments can leave us wondering if something more serious is going on. The truth is, cognitive decline isn't inevitable, and there are warning signs that can help us catch it early before it becomes a bigger issue. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 warning signs of cognitive decline and, more importantly, what you can do about them. These aren't just things to worry about, they're signals that give you the power to take action and protect your brain health. By the end of this conversation, you'll feel more informed, empowered, and ready to make small changes that can make a big difference. So let's dive in and start with the first warning sign. The first thing to watch out for is memory lapses that disrupt your daily life. Now, forgetting where you left your keys or mixing up names occasionally is normal. It happens to everyone. But when memory issues start interfering with your routine, like forgetting important appointments, struggling to recall recent events, or repeatedly asking the same questions, it could be a red flag. For example, imagine going to the grocery store and realizing you've forgotten your list not once, but several times in a week. That's the kind of pattern that might signal something more than just a senior moment. If you notice these kinds of lapses, don't panic. There are steps you can take to support your memory. Start by keeping your brain active with puzzles, reading, or learning something new. Even simple activities like playing card games or doing crossword puzzles can help keep your mind sharp. Another great strategy is to establish routines and use tools like calendars, reminders, or notes to stay organized. For instance, setting alarms on your phone for important tasks can reduce the mental load and help you stay on track. It's all about giving your brain a little extra support so it can keep doing its job. Now, let's move on to the second warning sign: difficulty completing familiar tasks. You know those things you've done 1,000 times, like following a recipe, balancing your checkbook, or navigating to a familiar place, but suddenly they feel harder than they used to. This could be a sign that your brain is struggling to process information as efficiently as it once did. For example, maybe you've been making the same casserole for years, but now you find yourself staring at the recipe, unsure of what step comes next. Or perhaps you get lost on a route you've driven countless times before. These moments can be frustrating, but they're also important signals to pay attention to. The good news is that there are ways to address this. One of the best things you can do is break tasks into smaller, manageable steps. Instead of trying to tackle everything at once, focus on one part of the task at a time. For example, if you're cooking, lay out all your ingredients first, then follow the recipe step by step. Writing things down can also help. Jotting notes or creating checklists ensures you don't miss any details, and don't hesitate to ask for help if you need it. Whether it's a family member, friend, or even a professional, leaning on others isn't a sign of weakness. It's a smart way to stay independent and confident. The third warning sign links into something many of us experience from time to time: trouble finding words. We've all had those moments when a word is on the tip of our tongue, but if it starts happening frequently, or if you find yourself substituting vague phrases like thing or that stuff because you can't recall the exact term, it might be worth paying attention to. For instance, imagine sitting down to tell a story to your grandkids, only to realize you're struggling to describe something as simple as a tree or a car. It's not just frustrating, it can make communication feel like a chore. So how can you address this? One of the best ways is to engage in activities that challenge your language skills. Reading books, writing letters, or even having deep conversations with friends and family can help keep your vocabulary sharp. Another helpful tip is to practice describing objects or scenes in detail. For example, while taking a walk, try naming everything you see: the colors, shapes, and textures. This kind of mental exercise strengthens the connections in your brain and makes it easier to access words when you need them. Remember, it's never too late to strengthen your language abilities, and doing so can boost your confidence in everyday interactions. Now that we've covered memory lapses, difficulty with familiar tasks, and trouble finding words, we're ready to move on to the next set of warning signs. These upcoming points will build on what we've already discussed, giving you even more tools to recognize potential issues and take proactive steps to protect your cognitive health. Stick with me, because understanding these signs could be the key to staying sharp and living your best life at any age. Let's keep going together. The fourth warning sign to be aware of is losing track of time or place. Have you ever found yourself confused about the date, season, or even what year it is? Or maybe you've walked into a room and suddenly felt disoriented, unsure of how you got there or why you came. While occasional forgetfulness about the day of the week isn't unusual, especially if you catch yourself and correct it later, it becomes concerning when you frequently lose touch with the passage of time or can't recognize familiar surroundings. For instance, imagine going to the store and feeling unsure whether it's Monday or Thursday, or walking into your kitchen only to feel momentarily confused about where you are. These moments can be unsettling, but they're important signals that something might need attention. If this resonates with you, there are practical steps you can take to stay grounded. One of the simplest strategies is to keep visual reminders around you. A large calendar on the wall, a clock with a clear display, or even sticky notes with important dates can help anchor you in the present moment. Establishing a daily routine is also incredibly helpful. When you follow a predictable schedule, like waking up, eating meals, and going to bed at the same time each day, it provides structure and helps your brain stay oriented. Additionally, staying socially connected plays a big role. Regular conversations with friends, family, or neighbors not only stimulate your mind, but also reinforce your sense of time and place through shared experiences. If you ever find yourself feeling particularly disoriented, don't hesitate to reach out to someone you trust. It's okay to lean on others for support. Now, let's talk about the fifth and final warning sign: changes in mood or personality. It's normal to have ups and downs in life, but if you notice significant shifts in how you feel or behave, especially if they seem out of character, it could be a sign of cognitive decline. For example, maybe you've always been an outgoing person who loves socializing, but lately, you've been withdrawing from activities or avoiding interactions, or perhaps you become unusually irritable, anxious, or suspicious in situations where you'd normally feel calm and confident. These changes might not just affect you, they can also impact your relationships with loved ones, making it harder to connect and communicate effectively. Addressing these emotional and behavioral shifts starts with self-awareness. Pay attention to patterns in your mood or behavior, and don't dismiss them as just getting older. Instead, try to identify potential triggers. Are you feeling overwhelmed by responsibilities? Isolation or lack of mental stimulation could also contribute to these feelings, so finding ways to stay engaged is key. Joining a club, taking up a hobby, or volunteering in your community can provide both mental stimulation and a sense of purpose. Physical activity is another powerful tool. Even a short walk or some gentle stretching can boost your mood and reduce stress. And remember, it's perfectly okay to seek professional guidance if you're struggling. A doctor or counselor can help you explore underlying causes and develop strategies to manage these changes. Now that we've covered all 5 warning signs: memory lapses, difficulty completing familiar tasks, trouble finding words, losing track of time or place, and changes in mood or personality, you're probably starting to see how interconnected they are. Each one offers clues about your brain health and opportunities to take action before small issues become bigger challenges. The key takeaway here is that early recognition and proactive steps can make a world of difference. Whether it's staying mentally active, maintaining routines, or reaching out for support, every effort counts toward protecting your cognitive well-being. I know this might feel like a lot to think about, but remember, you don't have to tackle everything at once. Start with one or two areas that resonate most with you right now. Maybe you decide to set up a daily reminder system or commit to joining a book club to keep your mind sharp. Over time, these small changes will add up, helping you feel more confident and in control. Progress, not perfection, is what matters most. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these warning signs stood out to you the most? Have you noticed any of these patterns in yourself or a loved one, and how have you addressed them? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm sure your insights will inspire others watching this video too. And if you found this video helpful, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're here to provide practical advice and support to help you live your best life at any age. Every week, we dive into topics like health, wellness, independence, and more, all tailored to you and your needs. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Remember, your brain is resilient, and there's so much you can do to nurture it. By paying attention to these warning signs and taking action, you're investing in your long-term health and happiness. Here's to staying sharp, staying strong, and embracing every moment of this incredible chapter of your life. Until next time, take care and keep shining.